The giant alien ship hung in the sky over New York City. It was smooth and silver, shaped like a disk with blue lights. People pointed up at it. Some ran away. Others took pictures with their phones. Captain Marcus Reed stood on the roof of the United Earth Defense Force building. He watched the smaller ship come down from the big one. His hands were tied around his binoculars. "Sir, they want to talk to you," said Jones, his assistant. Marcus nodded. "Of course they do." The small ship landed in Central Park. Marcus and his team went there in black trucks. They had guns but kept them hidden. This was a day that would change everything. The ship's door opened with a hiss. A ramp came down. 3 beings walked out. They looked almost human, but their skin was pale blue. They had no hair. Their eyes were large and dark. They wore silver suits with strange symbols. The tallest one stepped forward. "I am Trell, head researcher of the Galactic Federation. We come in peace." Marcus stepped forward too. "Captain Marcus Reed, United Earth Defense Force. Welcome to Earth." Trell smiled. It didn't look right on his alien face. "Thank you, Captain. We have been watching your planet for some time. Your species is interesting." The aliens set up a meeting room in their ship. Inside, it was bigger than it looked from outside. The walls glowed with soft light. Strange machines hummed quietly. Trell sat across from Marcus. He touched a small device on the table. A 3D image of Earth appeared in the air. "Your planet is beautiful," said Trell, "and your species has potential, but you are very young." Marcus frowned. "What do you mean, young?" Trell waved his hand. The image changed to show a timeline. "Your civilization is only about 10,000 years old, in the galaxy that makes you children." He smiled again. "Don't worry. The Federation will help you grow up." Marcus didn't like how Trell talked down to him. "We've done pretty well on our own." Of course," said Trell. He didn't sound like he meant it. "But there is so much you don't know. So much we can teach you." Later that week, more alien ships arrived. They brought scientists and diplomats. The world's leaders met with them. The aliens offered technology and knowledge. They said they would help humans join the galactic community, but they always talked like humans were children. They used simple words. They acted patient when humans didn't understand something. It made Marcus angry. Dr. Emma Wilson joined Marcus as his science advisor. She had dark skin and sharp eyes. She was the best archaeologist in North America. "They think we're stupid," she told Marcus one night. They were watching Trell's team set up research equipment in the desert. "They think we're babies," Marcus agreed. "Trell asked me yesterday if I understood how their star maps work. Like I'm 5 years old." Emma pointed to where the aliens were scanning the ground. "They're looking for something. Trell asked me about our oldest ruins." Marcus watched the aliens work. "What are they really doing here, Emma?" "Why Earth?" "I don't know," she said, "but they keep asking about our history, our myths, like they're looking for something specific." Trell walked over to them, smiling his strange smile. "Captain Reed, Dr. Wilson. Good news. The Federation Council has approved your world for Level 1 assistance. We will help guide your development. In a few hundred years, you might even qualify for probationary membership." Marcus forced a smile. "How generous." "It is," said Trell, missing the sarcasm. "Tomorrow, we begin our deep scans of your continental plates. We need to understand your planet's history." He looked excited. "Who knows what we might find?" Marcus and Emma exchanged looks. They didn't know it yet, but tomorrow would change everything. The desert sun beat down on them. Marcus wiped sweat from his face as he watched the aliens work. They had strange machines that sent waves into the ground. The machines showed what was under the sand. Trell stood nearby, looking at a screen. His blue skin didn't sweat. He suddenly became very still. "What is it?" Marcus asked, walking over. Trell pointed at the screen. "This is unexpected." The screen showed something big and square under the ground. It was deep, about 200 feet down. The edges were too straight to be natural. "What is that?" Marcus asked. "I don't know," said Trell. He sounded surprised for the first time since coming to Earth. "It appears to be artificial. Man-made, as you would say." Dr. Emma Wilson joined them. She looked at the screen and frowned. "That's impossible. There's never been a civilization in this area. It's been desert for thousands of years." Trell touched some buttons on his screen. "Our scans indicate it is very old, much older than your known history." "How old?" Emma asked. Trell looked troubled. "At least 50,000 years." Marcus and Emma stared at each other. That couldn't be right. Humans didn't build things that long ago. The next day, more alien ships came. They brought digging machines. These machines used beams of light to move the sand without disturbing it. They dug down, down, down. After 3 days of digging, they found it. A large metal door in the ground. It was made of a dark metal that didn't rust. Strange symbols covered its surface. "Have you ever seen anything like this?" Trell asked Emma. She shook her head. "No, nothing. This metal, it's not something we know." Trell scanned the door with his devices. "It's a complex alloy. Your people cannot make this yet." He looked confused. "But it was made here, on Earth." Marcus touched the door. It felt cold, even in the desert heat. "Can you open it?" "We will try," said Trell. It took 2 more days. The aliens brought special tools. They studied the symbols on the door. Finally, they figured out how to open it. The door slid open silently. It should have made noise after all that time, but it moved like it was new. Cool air came out from below. "It has power," Trell whispered. "After all this time, it has power." They went inside. Lights came on as they walked. The walls were smooth metal. The floor was solid and clean. No dust, no dirt, like someone had just cleaned it. "This is impossible," Emma kept saying. "Humans didn't have this technology 50,000 years ago. We were primitive then." They came to a large round room. In the center was a pillar of light. Inside the light were floating objects. They looked like crystals, but they glowed with inner light. Trell's hands shook as he scanned them. "These are data storage devices, very advanced, more advanced than what we use." "What do they store?" Marcus asked. "Information. Knowledge." Trell looked at Marcus with new eyes, not looking down on him anymore. "Your people built this. Your ancestors." Emma stepped forward. "There are symbols here too." She pointed at the base of the light pillar. "They look a little like very old writing, like the first writing ever found on Earth, but more complex." Trell tried to use his translator on the symbols. The machine beeped and showed results. "It's working," Trell said, sounding shocked. "It can translate some of it, but that means..." "Means what?" Marcus asked. Trell looked up, his face pale blue with shock. "It means this language is related to other ancient languages in the galaxy. Languages we found on other worlds." He swallowed hard. "Captain Reed, Dr. Wilson, I think your people might be much, much older than anyone thought." One of the crystals floated out of the pillar. It hovered in front of them, then projected an image. It showed Earth, but different, with giant cities and flying ships. It showed humans, but they wore strange clothes and used amazing machines. The voice that spoke was in a language none of them knew. But somehow, they all understood one thing. The archive welcomes the children of Earth home. For 3 days, they stayed in the underground chamber. More aliens came. They brought special machines to study the crystals. Trell hardly slept. His eyes were wide with wonder and confusion. "This changes everything," he told Marcus one night. They sat near the light pillar while others worked around them. "Your people, humans, you weren't supposed to be this advanced. Not so long ago." Marcus watched the floating crystals. "What do they contain?" "Knowledge." history, science. Trell shook his head. We've only begun to read them. The language is difficult, but parts of it match old languages from other worlds. Emma joined them. She looked tired but excited. I found something, she said. She showed them her tablet. On it were pictures of ancient symbols from different human cultures: Egypt, Sumeria, China, Maya. Look at these, she said, pointing. They match some of the symbols here. Not exactly, but close. Like they evolved from these. Trell looked surprised. You think your ancient writing came from this place? Maybe, Emma said. Or maybe the people who built this place created those civilizations later. More crystals joined the first one. They played more images. They showed Earth as it was long ago. Great cities with towers of glass and metal. Flying machines. People who looked human but wore strange clothes. The images showed other things too. Humans traveling to other planets. Meeting other beings. Aliens. Working with them. Building things together. This isn't possible, Trell whispered. The Federation records show no advanced civilization on Earth before now. Maybe your records are wrong, Marcus said. One crystal showed something new, a map of the galaxy. It marked hundreds of worlds with the same symbol. Trell's hands shook as he pointed at it. These are all the worlds where the Federation has found intelligent life, he said. All of them. But this map is at least 50,000 years old. Emma frowned. What does that mean? It means whoever made this already knew about all these worlds long ago, Trell said. They knew where life would develop. A new image appeared. It showed humans and other beings working on something big, a project that covered many worlds. Can you translate any of this? Marcus asked. Trell worked with his machine. Some words: preservation, reset, new beginning. He looked up. I think they were planning something big, something that would affect many worlds. Emma was studying more symbols on the wall. Look at this, she called. They joined her. The wall had a timeline carved into it. It showed Earth's history, but not the one they knew. It showed an advanced civilization existing for thousands of years. Then, nothing. What happened here? Marcus asked, pointing to where the timeline broke. Another crystal activated. It showed a terrible war. Humans fighting humans, weapons that made the sky burn and the land crack. The Earth itself changed shape. They destroyed themselves, Emma whispered. Not completely, Trell said. He pointed to the next part of the timeline. It showed survivors, small groups hiding underground, planning something. The next images were clearer. They showed the survivors changing themselves, changing their children, making them simpler, making them forget. They made themselves primitive, Marcus said, understanding now. On purpose. But why? Emma asked. The final crystal showed the answer. It showed humans, now primitive, building the first simple tools, starting over. But it also showed hidden machines watching them, guiding them slowly. They wanted a fresh start, Trell said, his voice full of awe. They wanted to grow up differently. A new voice spoke, coming from everywhere. The archive has judged you ready for the next phase of revelation. The room changed. More lights came on. New doors opened. The voice spoke again. Welcome to the true history of Earth. The new room was huge. The walls were covered with screens showing images and words. In the center was a large table that showed a 3D map of Earth. But it was Earth as it used to be, with different continents and oceans. This isn't right, Emma said, looking at the map. The continents are in the wrong places. Not wrong, said the voice from before. Different. This was Earth 50,000 years ago. A figure appeared next to the table. It looked like a man made of blue light. Not real, but like a recording. I am the archive keeper, it said. I was created to remember and to teach when the time was right. Trell stepped forward. What happened to the advanced human civilization? The blue figure waved its hand. The map changed to show great cities all over the Earth. Humans reached the stars 75,000 years ago. They built a great civilization. They met other young races and helped them grow. They were teachers and explorers. The map changed again. Now it showed the cities divided by red and blue colors. But humans argued about how to use their power, the keeper said. Some wanted to control all life. Others wanted to protect freedom. The argument became a war. The map showed explosions all over Earth. The land itself changed shape. Mountains fell. New ones grew. The seas moved. They used weapons that changed the planet itself, the keeper said. Weapons that could break continents and boil oceans. Marcus watched in horror as the beautiful world was destroyed. They killed everything. Almost everything, the keeper said. The map zoomed in to show underground bunkers. Some survived. They saw what they had done and felt great shame. The screens around them showed people meeting in these bunkers. They looked sad and tired. The survivors made a plan, the keeper continued. They would hide their technology. They would change themselves to be simpler, more peaceful. They would start over and grow differently. Emma looked confused. They chose to become primitive, to forget everything. Yes, said the keeper. They used their last great technology to change their children, to make them forget the old ways, to give them a new start. The map showed small groups of simple humans leaving the bunkers. They carried basic tools and wore animal skins. But they didn't just abandon their children, the keeper said. They left guides. The screen showed strange objects buried in the ground all over the world. They looked like the chamber they were in now. Archives like me were hidden everywhere, the keeper explained. We watched. We waited. Sometimes we helped in small ways. The myths, Emma said suddenly. The stories of gods and magic in every culture. Were those really memories of your help? The keeper nodded. When humans needed guidance, we appeared in ways they could understand. We helped them avoid the old mistakes. Trell looked troubled. But the Federation has found similar ruins on other worlds. Ancient technology buried under young civilizations. The keeper turned to him. Yes, the Great Collapse affected many worlds. The war spread. Many advanced civilizations fell or chose to reset themselves, as humans did. Reset? Marcus asked. What do you mean? The survivors made a galaxy-wide agreement, the keeper said. All advanced worlds would start over, clean and new. The old technology would be hidden until each species was ready. Ready for what? Trell asked. The keeper's face became serious. Ready to face what's coming. What the war was really about. The map changed one last time. It showed something huge and dark at the edge of the galaxy. The threat, whispered the keeper. The reason our ancestors fought. The reason they nearly destroyed everything. And now, after 50,000 years, it's returning. The room went silent. Then a new alarm started beeping on Trell's device. What is it? Marcus asked. Trell looked up, his face pale. A message from the Federation. They've detected something massive entering the galaxy. Something they've never seen before. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. When he closed his eyes, strange images filled his mind. Cities he had never seen. People he had never met. Knowledge he shouldn't have. He got up and walked through the underground complex. The aliens had set up lights and equipment everywhere. They were studying everything, taking pictures, making notes. He found Emma sitting alone by the archive pillar. She looked tired. Can't sleep either, he asked. She shook her head. I keep seeing things, like memories, but not mine. Me too, Marcus said. He sat beside her. I saw how to build a ship that could travel between stars. I understood it completely. But now it's fading. The keeper appeared before them, glowing softly in the dim room. Your minds are opening, it said. The archive is connecting with you. Why us? Emma asked. Because you carry the markers, the keeper said. Special patterns in your blood. Your ancestors were chosen to one day remember. Remember what? Marcus asked. Everything, the keeper replied. Some humans throughout history carried these markers. When the time was right, they received knowledge from us. They became great leaders, thinkers, inventors. They guided human progress carefully. Like who? Emma asked. Many names you would know. The ones who pushed humanity forward, but kept it from the old mistakes. Marcus thought about the strange dreams. So these memories, they're real? From our ancestors. Yes, said the keeper. And now more will come. The time of hiding is ending. A noise made them turn. Trell was there, watching them. Behind him stood 3 other aliens in dark uniforms. They didn't look friendly. What are you doing, Trell? Marcus asked, standing up. I'm sorry, Trell said. He looked sad. The Federation Council has ordered this site sealed. No one can know what's here. Why? Emma demanded. Because it changes everything, Trell said. If humans learn they were once more advanced than us, it will upset the balance. And if other worlds learn that their histories were also reset, there would be chaos. The uniformed aliens moved forward. One held up a device. We will remove your memories of this place, he said to Marcus and Emma. You will not remember. No, Marcus said. He stepped back. The keeper suddenly grew brighter. You cannot stop what has begun. The awakening is happening everywhere. Alarms started to sound. One of the aliens checked a device. Sir, he said to Trell, we're detecting power surges worldwide. Other archives are activating. The ground shook. The lights flickered. What's happening? Trell asked the keeper. The hidden guardians are waking up, the keeper said. Humans chosen long ago to protect the knowledge. They have lived normal lives, not knowing what they carried inside them. Now they remember. On screens around the room, they saw news reports from around the world. People were collapsing in the streets, then getting up with strange looks on their faces. Some were building odd devices from ordinary materials. There are thousands of them, Emma whispered, all over the world. Marcus felt something changing in his mind. More memories came, clearer now. He knew things, how to build impossible machines, how to use energy in ways no modern human understood. The Federation wants to control this, Trell admitted, to keep humanity dependent on us. Too late, said the keeper. The room hummed with power. The Guardians are activating the old systems. Earth is remembering. One of the uniformed aliens raised a weapon at Marcus. We have orders, he said. Marcus felt no fear. He raised his hand and somehow, the weapon flew away from the alien. How did you do that? Emma asked, eyes wide. Marcus looked at his hand in wonder. I remembered. The keeper's light spread through the room. The archive is now fully connected to all others. The next phase begins. Trell stepped back, looking afraid for the first time. What have we awakened? The keeper's voice echoed through the chamber. Not what? Who? You have awakened the true masters of the galaxy. The Federation ships orbiting Earth were in chaos. Reports came in from all over the planet. Strange machines were appearing. Ancient structures were rising from the ground, from the oceans, from mountainsides. On the main ship, the Federation Council held an emergency meeting. Trell was there, with Marcus and Emma. The 3 had escaped the underground chamber when the other aliens tried to capture them. You don't understand what you've done, said the head counselor, an old alien with gray skin. The balance of the galaxy is at risk. What balance? Marcus asked. The one where you pretend to be our teachers, where you hide our true history from us. The counselor looked angry. We built the Federation to bring order after finding ruins on our homeworld. Ruins like yours. We thought we were the first to rebuild. Emma stepped forward. But you weren't. There were others before you. Yes, the counselor admitted. As we explored, we found more worlds with the same pattern. Advanced ruins buried under primitive societies. But we kept this secret. Why? asked Trell. Power, said Marcus, understanding now. If everyone knew they were just rebuilding what was lost, they wouldn't need the Federation's guidance. The counselor nodded slowly. We became the keepers of knowledge. We decided which worlds were ready for which technologies. It kept the peace. Trell looked at his leader with new eyes. You lied to us all. Every member of the Federation thinks they are part of the first great galactic civilization. A necessary lie, the counselor said. Emma was looking at a large screen showing a map of the galaxy. These markers, she said, pointing to small dots, are these all worlds with buried archives? The counselor looked surprised. How did you know? I remember, Emma said simply. I can see the pattern now. All these worlds were part of the old network. Marcus joined her at the map. And this, he said, pointing to a dark area at the edge of the galaxy. This is where the threat is coming from. The room went quiet. The counselor's face showed fear. We detected something entering the galaxy 2 days ago, he said. Something massive. Our scientists can't explain it. I can, Marcus said. New memories were filling his mind. They're called the Void. They don't come from our universe. They feed on life energy. They came 50,000 years ago, too. That's what the Great War was really about, Emma added. Some humans wanted to fight. Others wanted to hide. The fighting damaged so many worlds that everyone decided to reset, to hide their technology, and become primitive again. Why would they do that? Trell asked. Because the Void are drawn to technology, Marcus explained. They can sense it across space. The more advanced a civilization, the more they want to devour it. So they all chose to go back to basics, Emma said, to hide until the Void left. But they left the archives, Marcus continued, and guardians with hidden memories. So when the Void returned, we would be ready. The counselor looked pale. Ready for what? If the archives are waking up and revealing advanced technology, won't that just attract these Void creatures? Yes, said Marcus. But this time, we're meant to fight. A communication officer rushed in. Counselor, we're receiving signals from over 30 worlds. They all report the same thing. Ancient structures activating, people suddenly gaining strange knowledge. The counselor stood in shock. The entire Federation. Not just the Federation, Emma said, looking at the map. All of them. Every world that was part of the old network. They're all waking up together. Marcus looked out the window at Earth below. Lights were appearing across the night side of the planet. New structures, old power awakening. We were never meant to stay primitive, he said quietly. We were waiting. All of us, on all these worlds, waiting to remember who we really are. Trell joined them at the window. And who are you really? Marcus turned to him, eyes now glowing slightly with inner light. The last line of defense against the darkness. 1 month later, Earth was changed forever. Great towers of crystal and metal stood where once there were only fields or ocean. Old machines hummed beneath the ground, cleaning the air and water. People worked together with new purpose, remembering skills they never learned. Marcus stood on the top of a new building in what used to be New York. It was 10 times taller than any building humans had made before. Emma stood beside him, looking up at the stars. The Federation ships are leaving, she said, pointing to lights moving in the night sky. Not all of them, Marcus replied. Trell and his team are staying. They want to learn from us now. They watched as a new kind of ship rose from the ground nearby. It was smooth and silver, shaped like an arrow. Humans had built it in just 3 days, using knowledge from the archives. How many worlds are ready now? Emma asked. Marcus checked the display built into his wrist. It looked like a watch but showed much more. 57 so far, more awakening each day. The door behind them opened. Trell walked out to join them. He looked different now, humble, amazed. The council has stepped down, he said. The truth is spreading through the Federation. Many are angry that they were lied to for so long. And the void? Emma asked. Still coming, Trell said. Our long-range scans show them crossing the outer systems. 3 months until they reach populated worlds. Marcus nodded. Enough time to finish waking everyone up, to rebuild what we need. The three of them looked out at the changed city. People moved with new confidence. The fear and confusion of the first days had passed. Now there was purpose. I still don't understand everything, Trell admitted. Why did your ancestors hide instead of fighting the first time? They weren't ready, Marcus explained. The war between factions weakened them. They needed time to grow differently, to learn to work together. And they needed allies, Emma added. Your people, the other worlds, all awakening together. A light flashed on Marcus's wrist display. It's time, he said. The first test. They looked up as a section of the moon seemed to change color. A huge door opened on its surface, revealing a massive weapon hidden inside, built ages ago and left waiting. The Moon Sentinel, Marcus said. Just one of many defenses left for us to find. Trell's eyes were wide. Your ancestors built that, inside your moon. They built many things, Emma said, on many worlds, all part of the same plan. More alerts came in. Similar weapons were activating on moons and planets throughout nearby systems. An ancient defense network coming back to life. Trell looked troubled. Will it be enough? The archives say the Void nearly won last time. Last time, we fought each other as much as we fought them, Marcus said. This time is different. A group of humans approached them. They wore simple clothes but carried advanced devices. They had been ordinary people a month ago. Teachers, farmers, store workers. Now they were ship captains, weapon masters, field commanders. The awakened guardians. The fleet is ready, Captain Reed, said one woman. We await your orders. Marcus looked at them, then back at the stars. He could feel more memories coming, more knowledge, and with it, a deep certainty. Send word to all awakened worlds, he said. Operation Remembrance begins now. We know who we are again. We know what we must do. Emma took his hand. Do you think we'll win this time? Marcus smiled. For the first time in 50,000 years, humans knew their true place in the galaxy. Not as children to be taught, but as ancient guardians with a sacred duty. Yes, he said simply. This time, we remember. This time, we stand together. This time, we win. Above them, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if welcoming humanity back to its rightful place among them.